Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Pippa, BA mentor and founder of the Well-Paid BA program. Today's video is a little humbling, but it's one that I really wanted to make because in my 10 years plus as a business analyst, I've made mistakes, some small, some that actually made me cringe, and some that completely changed how I work. And I know that if I had heard this early in my career, I would have grown so much faster, right? So this is why I'm sharing it, right? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the top 5 business analyst mistakes I've made, and more importantly, what I learned from them so that you don't have to repeat them. And in effect, you grow faster, right? So let's get right into it. Mistake 1, writing down everything without clarifying anything, right? When I first started, I thought my job was to be the world's fastest note taker. If a stakeholder said it, I wrote it. Bullet point after bullet point, no filter, no analysis, right? The mistake here, I was documenting opinions, not validated requirements. I wasn't asking why, I was just transcribing, right? The fix, I learned that being a BA isn't about recording, it's about challenging, it's about clarifying and prioritizing. Okay, so now I listen to understand, not just to capture. I pause, I ask questions, and I play back what I've heard before moving on. So yeah, I used to just write everything everybody said without clarifying. Mistake 2, avoiding conflicts to keep the peace. Yeah, that was me. For a long time, I avoided difficult conversations like pushing back on vague requirements or highlighting contradictions between stakeholders. Why did I do this? I didn't want to come across as difficult or getting labeled the annoying BA, right? I just wanted everybody to like me. But here's what happened in the process. Misalignment dragged out projects, developers built things based on guesses, and I ended up having to clean up the mess after, which is not ideal. So what was the fix for me? Now I see constructive conflict as part of the job. I've learned to challenge kindly but firmly, to guide workshops that surface tensions early, and to step into that facilitator role with confidence. I have some stories, but I don't want this video to drag on. If you'd like to hear stories, I could create a storytime video and share more details around these mistakes with you. But moving on to mistake 3 is thinking I had to be technical to be valuable. And I really struggled with this one. It really hit me hard. Early on, I'd sit in technical meetings feeling totally out of my depth. Everything would go over my head. But I'm nodding along, but I wasn't really getting what they were saying. And then I started to think, maybe I'm not cut out for this, right? I don't have dev background. Maybe this is not the career for me. But the truth is, you don't need to code to be a great business analyst. You need to translate to simplify and guide decisions. Okay, so please remember that. The fix for me here is I started to ask better questions like, what would that look like for the end user? What is the risk if we don't build that a feature? Can you explain it in business terms, right? So I became more confident by leaning into my strengths and not trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And I'm never going to do that. Never. Moving on to mistake 4 is being too solution focused too early, right? This one is a bit sneaky, I guess. I'd hear a problem and then I'll jump straight into the solution mode by suggesting tools, workflows, or features before actually fully understanding the need, right? It felt proactive to me, but it often missed the mark. Why? Because I wasn't uncovering the root causes. I wasn't thinking big picture. So that generally would have impacts on my role or my job as a BA. But the fix for me is that now I slow down, I focus on problem framing first. I ask the questions, the really impactful questions, such as what's the impact of this issue? Who is affected and how, right? What's already been tried? What have you already tried, right? only then do I start to explore options with the team, right? And it's made my recommendations more valuable and more likely to get buy-in. Okay, moving on to the last one, mistake 5, which is thinking that I had to know everything before I could speak up. But this one nearly held me back from becoming a senior business analyst, to be honest, because I'd sit in meetings silently because I didn't feel ready to contribute. I was afraid of asking silly questions or being wrong in front of a group of people, right? It's just that fear of like, I don't look smart, right? What was the cost? It was a huge cost because I had missed opportunities to shape discussions. I had missed chances to build credibility early on. I wasn't the BA that they could trust, right? But what was the fix for me? I gave myself permission. To be curious out loud. I realized that the best BAs ask questions that move the conversation forward, not questions that make them look smart. It's not about looking smart, right? So now I speak up earlier, even if it's just, hold on a minute, can we pause there? I want to make sure that I understand. Can we go back and, explain what's the assumption that we're making here? And that shows leadership. And that's what hiring managers actually remember. So those are my 5 biggest business analyst mistakes, and I've made every single one of them, but each one taught me something that has made me better. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here 10 years later, right? So if you're making any of these right now, it's okay. It's okay. That's how growth works. And if you want help avoiding these traps and building the skills that actually move you forward, check out my Well-Paid BA program where I coach you through these sort of things live every so often when needed, obviously within the membership program. And you really don't have to figure it out on your own. So let me know in the comments section which mistakes hit home for you, or share one of your own mistakes. Let's normalize learning from failure. Failure is not a bad thing, right? Anyway, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video. You never know, it might help. In the next video, I'll be sharing how I went from overworked to intentional in my BA career. You really don't want to miss that one. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.